You see, the funny thing about these human beings who think that sexuality is this total choice is they're not gathering how many aspects of God go into the intimate opportunities in front of us. You see, where you're born and who you associate with does often do this, but also your upbringing doesn't always do this. You see, people go through different ages and stages of life, and they move away from the places that gave them life, and they totally get changed by the environments that they move to, but at the same time, the whole time, their soul is there through and through. And the soul of someone is the soul of someone. And the value of that soul is how God painted that soul. Now, whether they painted that soul with a color on the outside of the skin, or whether they tainted that soul on the inside from within, that is somewhat a part of a parent's responsibility. And if a child does not see loving relationships between a man and a woman, or if a child is put in a position to be frightened all the time, sure, it's possible. They've proven this, that people might turn out with a different condition. But when it comes to the true human soul between a female and a male, the male soul is quite different. Now, why I'm saying this is not to disparage women, and I'm not saying that we don't have society juxtapositions for men to make greater living, because men typically take over this full security of the family. Now, we of course need two-income households today because of cost of living going so sky high this way. But what I can tell you about men speaking to men is that how men speak to men is not at all remotely close to how women speak to men. And how a man speaks to a woman in business is not at all how a man speaks to a woman who he's starting to fall in love with. But at some point during those conversations, an intimacy of relation starts to evolve where that couple that were destined to business start to recognize that they are friends. And once they figure out they're friends, they start to really talk about intimate concepts, intimate topics. And what I mean by that is things that friends talk about: faith, friendship, fellowship, intimacy, physicality, other relationships they're in. And they seek counsel with each other on some of those things.